Vielen herzlichen Dank der Firma Derksen für dieses breite Programm, das wir gemeinsam mit der Sommelierunion Austria hier auf die Beine stellen. Heute ganz besonders, die Trüffelzeit ist da und was liegt da näher, dass wir wirklich in der Region des Trüffels heute die Weine verkosten. Recht herzlich willkommen zu diesem tollen Seminar mit Michele Chiarlo, Gavi, der die wirklich, ja, das Piemont so geprägt hat wie wenige vorher. Lieber Thomas, ich möchte nicht viel aufhalten und möchte alle nochmal recht herzlich begrüßen. Danke der lieben Dagmar für die Technik. Danke auch der Birgit für die großartige Unterstützung immer. Danke allen, die es immer möglich machen, die uns die Treue halten. Auf einen schönen Nachmittag. Viel Spaß.
Ja, hallo. Also heute haben wir eine fantastische Verkostung, wie ich hoffe. Also wir kommen heute in das Weinland Italien. Und wie wir alle wissen, Italien ist, ich sage mal, von der Produktionsmenge her sicher das wichtigste oder das spannendste Weinland, was wir auf der Welt haben. Ich sage mal, vor Frankreich und Spanien ist von der Produktionsmenge her. Die Zahlen unterscheiden sich sehr, sehr oft. Also ich sage mal, die einen sind ein paar Millionen drüber, die anderen ein bisschen drunter. Aber wir können vielleicht einmal grundsätzlich sagen, dass wir um die 50 Millionen Hektoliter produzieren und das auf 690.000 Hektar in etwa. Wie gesagt, die Zahlen sind sehr unterschiedlich. Wir haben in Italien 20 fantastische Weinbauregionen und das ist vielleicht der große Unterschied zu vielleicht so manchem anderen Weinland. Also es ist wirklich in jeder Ecke gibt es spannende Dinge zu entdecken. Und wie uns verschlägt es heute in den Norden, also in den Nordwesten, um genau zu sein. Eine weitere Sache, was ich vielleicht noch ganz spannend finde, wir haben in Italien, was glaube ich weltweit auch einzigartig ist, an die 500 Rebsorten, was es dort gibt. Und also die relevanteren sind ein bisschen über 300 vielleicht. Aber trotzdem 500, da kommt, glaube ich, meines Wissens nicht einmal Frankreich mit. Wir haben, wie soll ich sagen, natürlich die bekanntesten sind Sangiovese zum Beispiel, Merlot, Catarratto Bianco und so weiter. Aber ja, was ich vielleicht noch ab Bezug nehmend auf Piemont ganz wichtig finde, wir haben seit 1963 Qualitätsweinbau in Piemont, beziehungsweise in Italien überhaupt. Und da haben wir eben DOCG, DOC, das sind zwei höchsten Stufen. Und wie wir wissen, Denominazione di origine controllata, beziehungsweise e garantita. Garantita ist ganz schön noch, dass die höchste Stufe dann garantiert ist. Fragt man sich, ob die drunter dann auch garantiert ist. Ich hoffe natürlich schon. Seit 2009 ist es im Übrigen von der EU her, darf man das dann als DOP zusammen bezeichnen oder auf der Flasche stehen haben, was jetzt natürlich für einen DOCG-Wein für die höhere Stufe nicht unbedingt Sinn macht, da ja, wie soll ich sagen, er den quasi ein bisschen abwertet. Für einen DOC-Wein wiederum kann es schon Sinn machen. Ja, dann würde ich jetzt vorschlagen, dass wir direkt, ich hoffe, jetzt funktioniert es. Jawohl, der schaut gut aus. Wir begeben uns heute in das Piemont, also die schönen, also am Fuße der Berge sozusagen. Also eigentlich schon ein bisschen französisch angehaucht vom Piemont. Wir sind also sehr nahe an der französischen Grenze. Und es ist geschichtlich ganz, ganz eng verbunden mit Frankreich und natürlich, wie schon von der Annemarie vorher erwähnt, Nebbiolo Trüffel ist das ganz große Schlagwort. Wir haben da ein Zentrum an kulinarischen Fantastigkeiten und also einerseits von der Weinseite her, andererseits von der Küche und wobei da natürlich in Italien in jeder Form was Schönes und Spannendes in jeder Gegend, wollte ich sagen, zu entdecken ist. Und deshalb habe ich es zuerst noch einmal erwähnt. Wir haben also diese zwei Stufen in ganz Italien. Kann man jetzt, ja, es ändert sich fast jedes Jahr. Wir haben da aber sicher schon an die 330 DOCs oder DOC, wie man so schön in Italien sagt. Und es sollten so je nach Quelle Also wie gesagt, ich bin da vielleicht nicht ganz auf dem neuesten Stand, an die 70 DOCGs sein, aber die meisten, und das ist das Schöne, also wir haben sicher, also das ist eine Sonderstellung vom Piemont, wir haben eigentlich die meisten, wie soll ich sagen, also DOCGs, also das sollten ja mindestens 18 jetzt im Moment bei den DOCGs sein und bei die 42 DOCs, also die Stufe drunter. Überlegen wir nochmal, wo wir also uns jetzt befinden. Wir sind also im Westen, sehr nah an Frankreich, also die Hauptstadt ist Turin. Und wenn man da die Alpen im Prinzip, also bei den Alpen entsteht dieser Fluss Tanaro, der schlängelt sich da so Richtung Alba durch und Asti, beziehungsweise wenn er dann in den Po endet. Und auf der rechten Seite, beziehungsweise auf der östlichen Seite, befinden sich eigentlich diese spannendsten Gebiete wie Barolo, Barbaresco, Gavi und dergleichen. Ne? Grundsätzlich ist die Po-Ebene eigentlich sehr, sehr bekannt für Landwirtschaft, also eher Weiß, Getreide. Und dann haben wir einerseits die Hügellandschaften, wo man natürlich, wie soll ich sagen, in erster Linie den Weinbau haben und das ist prädestiniert dafür. Noch allgemein dazu gesagt vielleicht, die wichtigsten Rebsorten, heißt nicht, dass es andere nicht gibt. Wir haben einerseits beim Weißwein haben wir den Moscato, Cortese und den Arneis. Das sind also die weißen Sorten. Alle drei würde Michele Chiarlo, den wir heute vorstellen, bieten können. Wir bieten heute nur eine davon. Und dann haben wir noch im Roten die drei wichtigsten, Dolcetto, Barbero und Nebbiolo. Die werden wir alle drei kosten dürfen natürlich. Gut. Dann eigentlich würde ich vorschlagen, dass wir schon Richtung wirklich dem Hauptthema kommen. Und im Anschluss dann würde ich dann den Michele Chiarlo bitten. So maybe it's better to switch in a few minutes in English. And so let's start with a small teaser now. We have a fantastic collection of prestigious vineyards. And we have on the right side, you can see we have in the middle, Michele Chiarlo. It's the founder of the company. And but today we can say it's more ruled by the sons. And one of the sons, Stefano, will be with us here and this afternoon. So hello, Stefano. We are happy to have you here and within our degustation. And so I guess you can introduce it much more better than me. I wrote something, but maybe you will do that for the next few minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Thomas, and thank you very much for everyone that dedicate your time for Piemont from my winery. Thomas, sorry for I speak English, not German, but my daughter try to learn German at the school. So next generation.
So try the next time.
Yes. So Thomas, I understand that really speak about Piemont. Piemont is, you see in the previous map that is a northwest region at the foot of the mountain of the Alps. And that is very important for the history about Piemont and understand the Piemont wine, because in the past we are part of the France. In our dialect and also in our philosophy, is considered Piemonte the Burgundy of Italy for different reasons. First of all, because we don't have the noble family like in Tuscany, but is the place of the vigneron, the place of the owner of the vineyard. And second is because the hillside are very steep and change so in a few meters the composition of the soil that give to our appellation so many different in terms of character and expression of the our appellation that are in general 100% one indigenous variety 100%. Michele Chiarlo was a pioneer of Italian producer for different reasons. My father founded the company in 1956, and his dream was to grow in terms of quality for Barbera and Barolo and try to export this wine around the world. There is a century of tradition in this place of producing wine, but the new quality of the wine are really younger from the 50, but especially from the 70s, from the 80s. Because in the past, these wines are drink locally with Piemonte food. For this reason that my father, when he finished the winemaker school that make like me in Alba, in 56, he tried to produce better Barbera and Moscato. That is the place where we are born, and we are in the Monferrato area, where is the best soil for Barbera and Moscato. But also in 58, he tried to produce Barolo, and his first vintage was 58. What has happened during this decade is that my family winery have the opportunity to buy the best land. And the best land means the historical and most famous single vineyard for Barolo, Barbaresco, and Barbera. And for this reason that now the winery, they have this land, it's like in Burgundy, you are the best expression for Piemonte. Now arrive to incredible price, is not possible to buy this land. I am a winemaker of the Michele Chiarlo winery, but in my time, most than 80% of my time is in the vineyard. Because in the vineyard, you really make the difference in terms of for produce top quality wine. Generally speaking, Piemonte is known to be a red wine region, but Gavi, for example, Gavi, Moscato, Ernese are really grown in terms of perception, in terms of market around the world. And also this indigenous variety have a very Piemonte imprinting. So I believe another thing that you have to know is that our philosophy to produce wine is to keep in the center the vineyard, and especially the variety. That means we want to produce elegant wine that show the profile of the variety and show the character of the terroir that are cultivate the vineyard. So, for example, we never like the wine going in overripe in terms of harvest, and we never love to give too much modern technology during the vinification, or too much wood that cover the principal aromatic profile for the wine. We love really to produce wine with a great character, potentiality to have a long evolution, but in the same time that speak Piemontese languages. First, I believe we can speak about the first wine. That is the white wine is Rovereto Gavi di Gavi. Gavi.
Maybe I just say something in generally. Maybe it
yeah.
makes sense. Maybe and then you introduce your wine. We are in the. If I say something not correct, please interrupt me, or don't hesitate to interrupt me, of course. But so we are in the southeastern part of the province of Alessandria, if I'm right, hopefully. And of course, maybe not for everybody always it's that clear. We have agave is always made of the grape variety is Cortese, and that for in 1974 it was a DOC maybe, and if you know, and in 1998 we have reached a higher level. Mainly in the Piedmont, we have this grape variety, and it should be around 3,000 hectares. And yeah, well, we will see what we have in our glass. But generally, you can say it's a light, fruity wine with a nice acidity, and maybe in the finish a hint of now maybe and something like that. And so I think we can go ahead for our first wine.
Yes, Thomas, if I can also adding something is that the area is close to Apennine Mountains and close to the Liguria Sea. So for this reason that the microclimate is a little different as respect Langhe area and Monferrato, where is more continental weather. So we have influence during the day of the warm wind that arrive from the sea, and during the night, the cooling that arrive from Apennine Mountains. You tell very well that is a Cortese grape variety. Cortese is a variety that is not aromatic, is not also a powerful in terms of alcoholic presence, but is very is a very fruity with a great florality and also some minerality expression during the aging. In this case, is a single vineyard that is called Rovereto, because I don't know if you know, Gavi means that the grapes arrive from the vineyard only from the village of Gavi. That you can produce Gavi in more than 10 different villages. The Gavi village obviously is the central most large, wide vineyard. But is in the Gavi village, there are, in the Gavi appellation, there are two single vineyards, larger than the Barolo Barbaresco single vineyard. Rovereto is about 150 hectares. We are an owner of 5 hectares. And what is really particular is the composition of the soil that is very rich of marl of the clay, dark with a lot of stone, appearing close to Bordeaux in terms of view. In this particular hill, the influence of the soil to the profile of the wine give this kind of florality. And also, I believe, anise, you have also some very, very attractive mineral note in the nose. For obtain this character, Cortese is like Barbera, is a generous quantity variety. And for this reason that we drop about 30% for have a yield between 8 to 8.5 tons per hectare, when the appellation allowed 9.5 10 tons per hectare. Reducing the yield, you have more richness of the wine in the mouth, also more complexity, and like you said, with a very interesting acidity, very well balanced in the mouth, with the end of savory sensation, give this wine the opportunity to have a long evolution. This is only stainless steel, no wood, and made a vinification with 10% of cryo maceration with the skins. For this reason that this wine you can drink for a minimum 8, sometimes more than 10 years. The vintage is 21, and 21 is a very great vintage for all the Piedmontese wine. 19, 20, 21, generally speaking, are vintage 5-star in terms of weather condition, and 21 have the condition that are very important for Cortese, because Cortese is the last white variety that we pick up in Piedmont. Generally speaking, the timing of made the harvest that we made all by hand is between 18 to 22 of September. And in this vintage, we have this condition that we don't have too warm summertime, too early anticipate harvest. We have this perfect condition that allow to know that is a great vintage for Gavi. You feel a golden apple. I found also these white flowers that is very typical for Gavi. What is really distinctive from Rovereto is that we don't have some green sensation in the palate, in the mouth, and because is a perfect ripeness of the grapes and reducing the quantity of the grapes, you don't have this kind of green sensation in the end of the test. Obviously, I suggest to drink this wine with all the fish dish, but also, for example, with the Piemonte typical cuisine, we love to
Stefano, we have a question from our from one person.
Yeah.
Did the Gavi spend some time on the lease?
Yes, this is a stay 8 months on the lease in the stainless steel. We use a natural yeast, no selection yeast, and they stay in the stainless steel with batonnage 8 months before release.
Yeah, I wrote here about in German about 5 months at least. No, actually, always. No.
Yeah, 2021 we stay more because it's a very important
special vintage. It's actually different.
What we write is the minimal timing that to stay on the list.
Yeah, the minimum. I wrote it like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but you think it's more floral than generally, or it's always typical for a Gavi, like yours?
I don't know.
You can drink the other one.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's still nice, roundness, nice acidity. Should we go ahead, or what do you think? Or any other questions? So I think we can, we have a nice idea now. We have the only white one of this afternoon, but now we go for the reds. But this one is a little bit between, let me say, because it's better. Yeah, it's called the Dolcetto. It's the sweet one actually, but don't misunderstand. It's not the meaning of sweetness. It's actually always a dry red wine. It's yeah, generally you can say it's just landed in the province of Cuneo and Alessandria, and we have around 6,300 hectares planted. It's a dark fruity wine, better drinkable chilled, and yeah, mellow. It's generally we have not that much acidity, and yeah, we drink it. Normally we drink it young. The harvest is earlier than the other reds in Piedmont. That's also perfect to sell it, also easier for the producer, of course, because we know the other ones they need to be really kept in cellar much more longer. Generally, you can say it's yeah, within 3 years you should drink a Dolcetto, but of course the higher qualities like a Dolcetto d'Alba or Dolcetto d'Avada, it's easily can be kept in the cellar for 5 years. Yeah, it's also, but maybe it's better that you will introduce it better. We have today we have the Dolcetto d'Alba, Le Coste 2020. Stefano, you will go ahead?
Yes, or? Yeah, Dolcetto is really the wine with that the Piedmontese people drink every day, with the pasta dish, with antipasti, with entree. Is a very fresh note of vinosity, of flowering, for example, like violet note, or some of almond hint. In our philosophy, we produce a Dolcetto d'Alba that the vineyards are located in the Barbaresco area, in the Treviso village, where the soil is mixed marl of the clay with white and sandy soil, and give this kind of drinkability and the pleasure to drink another glass. There are some Dolcetto with more structure, or some other Dolcetto, for example, for Dogliani, that age in the wood, but are different in terms of aging and drinkability. I believe Dolcetto, another important thing to know is that in the end of the test, you feel some tannin note, but the tannin are very silky and very well integrated with the sweet aromatic profile. That you can compare the tannin of Dolcetto with the tannin of Nebbiolo, that are totally different. And for this reason, that, for example, Dolcetto we love to drink also in the warm summertime, a little fresh, also with the fish, for example, with the tomato sauce or something about that, or like aperitifs with a good salami, a good piece of cheese. You know, that is very, I believe, is the most fruity flowering wine, medium body, but with this attractivity for the drinkability that only Dolcetto have with this character. And the violet note and the vinosity, the note of the new wine, I don't know the exactly translation. It's only the dolcetto have this character. I believe is a very modern wine, because I believe the people are looking for some red wine, not too heavy and very fragrant wine, and dolcetto could be this kind of wine that around the world is rare, but especially with the new life that the people are looking for wine not too alcoholic, not too heavy. I believe dolcetto have this kind of attractivity that is a unique.
No, I just can repeat. It's really an easy drinking and silky wine. It's really nice. Yeah. So maybe we go for the next wine, if it's okay for everybody, or we have some other questions. No. So let's go to the Barbera. So we remain at the reds, like promised. It's actually the most common grape variety in the Piedmont, and especially in the province of Este around Alba. Yeah, the harvest is definitely earlier than the other reds, or the Nebbiolo, for instance. But we have this grape variety you can also find in the US or in Argentina, but it's of course not that important. But around 24,000 hectares worldwide, you will have planted. What generally you can say, it's a medium-bodied wine, not that much tannin, and yeah, it's a bit more acidity compared to the other ones. We have nice fruity character, but of course also spicy, generally said, and sage, anise, cinnamon you can maybe find, and barberries. That's maybe also a possibility why it's called Barbera. Stefano maybe can say that barberry. I think it's called Crespino in Italian, and from the English word, or the Latin word is barberry, German Berberitzen, and so this is maybe also a reason for it, because it's called Barbera. So well, let's go ahead for our wine. The first is the Barbera Dusty, but not like the label on the left side. They're changing a little bit. It depends on the vintage now. We have it also with other wines from Michele Chiarlo. And today we have the 2018.
Yes, Thomas, if I want also to add in something very interesting for Barbera, Barbera is the most cultivated variety in Piemont. It is still cultivated more in 220 villages between Barbera d'Asti and Barbera d'Alba. But this area where we are located, these 25 villages, are the heart of the best Barbera wine, because we have because the best vineyard, the best exposition are dedicated to Barbera grape variety. For example, in the Langhe, the best vineyard are for Nebbiolo, for Barolo, Barbaresco, or Nebbiolo d'Alba. We have a particular soil that is the bottom of the Adriatic Sea that arrived from a very old era, from 9 to 10 million years ago, where it's very poor in terms of organic present, but very rich of white marl and sandy soil, and give, especially in the Asti region, this kind of profile and character. This is a Barbera. My father was really a pioneer that believed in this variety more than 50 years ago, and is called around the world Mr. Barbera, because he's really one of the few producers that elevate the quality and the image of Barbera d'Asti. Barbera is a wine that is a medium body, but in the same time is a serious wine, because it's not too simple, it have a nice complexity, and in the same time have the potential to age 7, 8, sometimes more. Yeah, is a very food-friendly wine, because, like you said, that is in the nose is so rich of red fruit, this spicy note. In the mouth is a silky wine. It's not a tannic wine, but it's a juicy wine. In the same time, this acidity that remain give the freshness also in the palate, allowed to match with several kind of food. Is the most eclectic. Is one of the most eclectic red Italian wine, because really we export in more than 60 countries. It matches very well not only with Italian food, but with the different local cuisine, because it's fruity, silky, but the acidity allowed to match with spicy food, for example, Asian food, but also for other region food. And Barbera, when it's well made, and well made means the same attention that we have for Barolo and Barbaresco in terms of reducing of the yield in the vineyard, because it's like Cortese, when it's produced too much, give the wine a rustic wine, not very velvety wine. This operation made by hand is the key point for obtain quality Barbera. And especially what I love the Barbera grape variety is the long and dry and warm summertime. The global warming, the changing of the weather condition increase in the last 2 decades the quality of Barbera, because Barbera hate the rainy and the humidity condition of the weather, especially close to the harvest time. This is in terms of winemaking, this make 2 weeks of maceration with the skin in a stainless steel, and a quick passage in the large wood. The wood not give influence to the main aromatic profile of the variety, but help to have more balanced testing. And this I want to is our most produced wine and most diffused wine around the world. Is a wine that is a very good balance between quality and price, and is a wine for with character, but is a wine for not for occasion, for particular dish, but for drinking with 90% of the dish that you prepare at home or in the restaurant.
No, it's really a nice, juicy one. I hope everybody got the chance to open the bottle a bit earlier than just before degustation, and it's really, it's a perfect thing. Yeah, it really. It's, yeah, we want more actually. Yeah, my colleague, actually, it's a good idea now. It's needed also some nice food. A food pairing would be a good idea now.
Yeah, but also a wine, for example, that it works very well also with a pizza or with, for example, a fish soup, if you want.
Yeah, why not? There depends how it's prepared, of course. So, if it's okay, we go to the next. We actually still stay at the Barbera, but if it's okay for everybody, we go ahead for the premium Barbera, let me say, and or Crus, because the French influence you always can hear in this region, even like instead of a buongiorno, you can hear as a bondi. So that for we have here a nice yeah. Let's go ahead.
Okay, second Barbera is Nizza Riserva La Courte. Now, sorry, but Thomas is wrong in the description. Is not yet Barbera d'Asti Superiore, but is the appellation right is Nizza Riserva La Courte. This is a special super Barbera, because Barbera is the variety 100%. Is arrived from very old vine and very low yield, and respect the first Barbera. This is a very important wine with more complexity, more character, more structure, and more power to age. This is a wine that you can age 15, sometimes more than 18, 20 years. Barbera grape variety is a eclectic variety. It's like Sangiovese in terms of, you know that with Sangiovese you can produce a medium body wine a Chianti Classico Riserva or a Brunello di Montalcino. That is the same with Barbera. You can produce a medium body Barbera d'Asti or fresh to drink young, and you can produce a Nizza wine that is more structure, more complexity. A Nizza Riserva is the most the top of the pyramid for produce really top quality wines for great longevity. In this case, reducing the yield to 5 tons per hectare, like the single vineyard of Barolo, fermenting and maturation with the skins in the large wood for 3 weeks, malolactic fermentation in the large wood. When we finish the malolactic, we divide the cuvée in 2 ways. The first way aging 1 year in barrique, the other way 1 year in the large wood. We reblending, we get natural sedimentation for 2 months, and we bottling the wine and refining for other 18, 20 months before release. So Nizza Riserva is the new appellation that is departing from 2014, have an appellation very severe. For give an idea, regarding only 18 villages in 125 for Barbera d'Asti, only in the best exposition and very low yield, less than 7 tons per hectare, when Barolo and Barbaresco are 8. So very restricted area, restricted production, but with the philosophy to produce top quality wine. And this is 17, the vintage. 17, the vintage, you know that in Piemont or also in Europe was very warm and dry. But with this old vineyard that the roots go very deep, 7-8 meters, is a very great balance, and the acidity of Barbera and allowed to produce this great body wine, but with great elegance in the nose. First of all is the color, very more this garnet, brilliant, but more dark, more deep. In the nose, the red fruit is more under spirit, is more complex. You have this kind of most cacao and chocolate and mountain herbs, and this sweet spicy that help to have this more complexity in the nose. In the palate is more rich, but remain this sweet sensation that we expect from the nose. You have also in the silky note in the palate, but was really beautiful when from the middle of the test arrived this fresh sensation that is for the very well balanced freshness of acidity, and the end remain with this savory that after 12-15 seconds remain with this elegant sensation. This is a wine, for example, that we love to drink with I don't know, with the fettuccine, with the truffle, or with the porcini mushroom, braised veal, or a good steak, a good medium-aged cheese. You need, I believe, more important dish respect the other Barbera, but it's a wine that drinking with this important food help to refresh the mouth, but in the same time stay at the same important of level of the great dish of Piemont or from around the world. What is interesting is that the wood, you don't feel the wood, but you feel the terroir and the variety profile in the nose, and the wood help only the mouth to have this kind of around in the sensation.
So maybe we can go ahead. So we go for the Nebbiolos. What you can, what you have also in the Barbaresco and in the Barbera. It's the grape. The name of the grape variety probably comes from the fock. What you can, you have in the autumn sides of the Piedmont, and in Nebbia, it's actually the Italian name for fock, and so it makes sense. Mainly we have blended in Piedmont and in Lombardy, but around the world you can find maybe about 6,000 hectares. So it's a rich tannin, and a nice body wine. What needs, of course, a longer aging. You have to keep it in the cellar longer than the most other reds. And but yeah, you can also have some really floral, nice bouquet. What you don't think if it's such a masculine wine, let me say, yeah. Like scent of rose, you can have this aromas as well. And it's also, meanwhile, they say actually it's one of the grape varieties with the most aromatic compounds, actually, what you can find in a wine. And yeah, so we will have our first. It's a Barbaresco. We are in the northern east part of Alba. Very often it's called the small brother of Barolo, but if you have a nice quality, it's not that true anymore. It's in this area, the Nebbiolo, the harvesting is a bit earlier, what I know, instead of the Barolo. But it's true, very often it's a bit lighter one than a Barolo. But it depends, of course, also on the quality. And yeah, let's go ahead for our next wine.
Okay, next wine is Barbaresco. Barbaresco is, I believe, it is not really true that it's the small brother of Barolo, because it's the.
I think it's not true anymore.
Yeah, it's like you, because it's the idea that give the producer in the past. I believe Barbaresco is the quintessence of the elegance of the Nebbiolo wine. Until Barolo is the quintessence of the complexity and the masculinity. Barbaresco is really the finesse of the Barolo, of the Nebbiolo, with the more with the
Barolo is also produced before Barbaresco, no?
Yeah, but also the history about Barbaresco is the end of the 18th century. There is a great history. But what, for give an idea, Barbaresco is the 30% of the Barolo area that are not far, not very far. It's only 15 kilometers. All the Barbaresco area is 1,000 hectares, and there are 3 villages that you can make the Barbaresco: Barbaresco, Neve, and Treviso. The composition of the soil and the altitude is a little different for Barolo, and this micro difference give this kind of early timing for the harvest, and different in terms of personality that's showing respect a Barolo. And this is Barbaresco 17. The vineyard, the grapes arrive from 2 vineyards, one in Barbaresco, the other in Treviso. In our style is to be very severe in the vineyard, reducing the yield, and exactly timing every lot, make the different vinification in timing, because it's not enough to have the perfect analysis, but go in every lot to test the grapes, and when the seeds are perfect ripeness and the skins are begin to open, that is the top of the quality of the, when is really timing to make the harvest. 17, I speak before, is a warm and dry vintage, but for this reason that is a very open in terms of flavor, open flavor, very young, but also very, with the tannin, very soft and sweet, also in the young expression. For our Barbaresco, we make the 2 weeks of maturation with the skins and 18 months in aging in the large wood barrel. So it preserves very with high fidelity the aromatic profile with the terroir and the terroir for the Barbaresco, no influence of the small wood, and but vintage like 17 is born with the silky and soft tannin. So I suggest to drink also very young, but also if you want to age, you can age for other 15 years. I believe this is the right vintage that if you want to drink young is very well balanced. Another thing that I want to know is that is the color. You can see how is different the tonality and the color between Nebbiolo and Barbera. The color is like a Pinot Noir in the sense that is totally more transparent and more garnet, sometimes orange hint, but is the authentic color of the variety. And I believe, and this tonality, this color remains for a long time. So I believe the reason that now a lot of people in the world understand and love the Barbaresco and Barolo is because are looking for important wine, but with a great authenticity of the place of the variety. And obviously Barbaresco and Barolo have this finesse, this complexity, this allure that is really unique in the world.
Ja, vielleicht, man sieht es in der Präsentation, vielleicht wundert sich der eine oder andere. Okay, actually we have the response of my colleague. Maybe you're wondering, we already didn't talk about it. The label is a bit changed, so not wondering the wine what you have, the bottle what you have, it's a little bit changed. On the right side we have the new vintages. The bottle is different, and yeah, the label is changed a little bit. So don't wondering. So you have the right wine, hopefully, in the glass. So Stefano, we can go ahead, or?
Yeah.
So we now in the Barolo area. It's south of Alba. I already told the Barolo is existing a bit longer than the Barbaresco, and yeah, it's of course, like we know, it's Nebbiolo as well. And I think we have a nice or a special situation from the soil for the soil here in this area. We have two types of soil. Of course, there could be also a mix, but we have two types of soil of geological period and two geological periods. And one is we talk always for millions of years, but we have the younger, the Tertonium, and for the let me say the not Barolos, they're for a Barolo a little bit lighter, and mellow maybe. And we have the older type of soil, the Helvetium. They will produce more the intensive Barolos, what you have to age much more longer. The difference, maybe, yeah, the Tortome, the younger, the first, what I already said, it's more it's more a rich kind of soil, and instead the other one is more a lighter sandy soil, and therefore it produces, of course, the different types of Barolo. And yeah, guess maybe why it's called Tortagnano in Italiano.
Yeah.
Per dire meglio. So Barolo Tortagnano 2016, and yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Tortognano is because all the vineyards are in the Tortognano geological soil, and especially a part very important arrive for our most prestigious historic single vineyard that is called Cerecchio. And like you said, from Tortognano soil arrived the Barolo, I believe not light, but more open when are young, more fruity and more silky in terms of tannin when are young. I believe the Helvetian soil give more spicy and tannic Barolo that need more time to be harmonic and balanced. 16 is the vintage. The vintage because 10-16 is a very classic weather condition. What love the Nebbiolo grape variety is especially the last part of the timing before the harvest, September and the first 2 weeks of October, with the great difference in terms of temperature between cold night and warm day. And when we are this weather condition, the maturity, the ripeness of the tannin are very slowly, and also the aromatic formation in the grapes are slower, and you obtain the Barolo with more complexity, with more character, with all the conditions forever, minimum 20, 25, and sometimes more than 30 years of aging. In the decade 2010 and 16 are the real, this kind of very rare and unique vintage for the weather condition. Respect Barbaresco, we have the same philosophy in the vineyard, green harvest, testing the grapes every lot, vinification separate, and 3 weeks of maturation with the skins like Barbaresco, but we have 2 years and not 18 months of aging in the large wood barrel, and minimum another year of refining in the bottle. So 16 is only now, for my opinion, begin now the history of developing of this great vintage, obviously, but arriving from Tortognano soil, especially with our style, the style to have to pick up the grains when give the opportunity that this wine born with the soft tannin from the vineyard without influence of new wood. Now that is young, but you feel that is so pleasant to drink this wine that obviously arriving only now the tertiary aroma, and probably if you wait 2 more years, arrive more truffle, more other spice sensation. But in the mouth, it's difficult to split now because it's so well balanced and so harmonic that you can really drink now that is only 5 years from the harvest with a great pleasure to drink. Sometimes tell that for a great Barolo you need a particularly elaborate food or dish. I am not really agree. If you have a great wine, a great Barolo, if you have a piece of Parmigiano cheese and you are tired, you arrive at home in front of your fire, in front of your wonderful mountain that I love, you drink a good glass of Barolo with a good Parmigiano cheese that is the soul of this wine. Obviously, is a wine that if you have white truffle, if you have rich cheese or rich dish, Barolo is an elegant wine that need food with protein because veal or cheese match with the tannin and you feel more silky wine and work with the food with the protein. But this kind of vintage, and especially with our style, sometimes is enough only a piece of cheese or simple food, you know.
Stefano, we have a question. It's if Tortoniano is a single vineyard, and which is the place exactly, or the area?
No, Tortoniano is not a single vineyard. Arrived from a blend from different vineyards, but is part of Tortoniano, about 40%, arrive from our single vineyard, Cerepio, because we are owner of a big portion of Cerepio, and we produce the single vineyard Cerepio in a few number of bottles, and the other part of the grapes of Cerepio single vineyard participate in 35–40% in the blend of with the other vineyard for produce Tortoniano wine.
But Cerrecchio, so I made a mistake before. At the Nizza, it's a Superiore, but the Crus of Barolo, we have the Cerrecchio and the Canubi.
Yeah.
So you say the part of it's of from Cerrecchio area or vineyards, but Cerrecchio is actually it's not from the same geological period, no? Cerrecchio is more the older soil, right?
No, Tortoniano and Helveziano are the two big different of the two big area of the Barolo area. For La Morra, Barolo,
right,
and
no, but the Cerrecchio is more the Helvetian, the older soil, right? The Canubi is actually a mix of it, right?
Yes, but Cerrecchio, no, is not Helvetian, is Tortonian, but is very rich of magnesium and give more is the exception. Also in this area is a Tortonian, but with a micro element of magnesium, manganese, that is a great quantity, give more close to Helvetian style in terms of character in the mouth. But this is remain a Tortonian in the big Tortonian formation, also Cerrecchio.
Yeah, we have here the same situation, of course. The label is will change in future. We have the 2016 and the 2017. I think already is the label and the it's changed a bit. Also the bottle actually. Yeah, slowly we will finish our degustation, but you already have a question for
yeah.
because we for so everybody can send a nice answer for it, but we have a question and you can win a nice bottle of wine. Go ahead. Maybe you have a nice question. What everybody can.
Okay.
If you're not slow enough, if you're not too slowly, you can win a nice bottle.
Okay, for La Courte wine, what is the new appellation? What is the name of the appellation of La Courte? I speak before that is changed the appellation and is the right appellation of La Courte wine. You have sorry, you have on the label.
The fastest one is, of course, has the possibility.
No, La Courte, not Leorme. La Courte.
We're talking about.
Nizza Riserva. Maddalena, you are the winner and you win a magnum of La Courte. Thank you very much.
We have already.
For the Christmas time, it's not bad.
So we will handle this after, and of course we have the address, and we can send the nice bottle. It should be no problem, hopefully. Yeah, generally, I just want to say it's worldwide. We have also nice ratings for Chiarlo wines. This I try not to forget that. I have this and here we talked before the two soils and the two Crus of Michele Chiarlo. Well, we didn't have this budget for and not the time, but maybe or hopefully the next time we will meet, we see, and maybe we also have in our warehouse some bottles of these wines. Who knows? The question we already had, but I don't know if there's some questions as well. Don't hesitate to ask it now or send us a notice. And yeah, finally, maybe Anna Maria will say something. A final word, let me say.
Thank you very much, both of you. So you made us a wonderful tasting of a wonderful area with wonderful wines. For me, it was really a coming back, a coming home. I mean, I honestly have to say, it's far too rare we taste these beautiful wines. And of course, we work with them, but it's always very good to retaste, refresh. And if the information we get is so profound as we did today, it's even easier for us to do a good job on the floor with the wines, because these wines are so beautifully matched with food, and this is what our guests are looking for, and we make them happy. And congratulations to the wonderful wines and to the nice selection you made for us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for you, Thomas. You have wonderful preparation and explained it very well. And Stefano, thank you very much as well. You really explained, and I really re-understood a lot of things, because sometimes you forget. And it was a wonderful afternoon, and I think so many of us now will grab a bottle of beautiful wine from Piemont and make the best you can do now these days. Make a nice risotto, take a little bit of truffles, sit and enjoy. And of course, plan the next trip to Piemont, which is really big in the mind. And thank you very much, Family Derksen, euch allen. Thank you very much. So we look back to a year where we made a lot of tastings together. It always was beautiful. It always was great. And thank you very much to everyone always joining. And I hope you're going to have a good spare time, maybe, if you don't have to work and if your season is starting, because we are at the moment in the time we have a little rest. So enjoy the time, enjoy the wines, and all the best for you, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we hope to see you again in the next year when we continue our tastings, and as well, of course, when we see each other, visiting each other.